Hi guys, welcome to the Honest Perfume Reviewer. I haven't been posting in the last week very much. I've been pretty busy. I'm getting ready for my daughter's graduation. I've been doing a ton of like yard work. I went to the dump with our big trampoline that was all rusty and broken. That had to be taken apart, and I got the whole thing in the car, and I put that in with two big umbrellas that have been on our yard for 10 years, and I haven't dealt with it. So that felt really good. And I'm spending lots of time like weeding and blah, blah, blah. But I have been enjoying perfume as well. I just haven't been making videos. So I just thought I'd let you know a little bit what I've been up to. I did go to town yesterday and met with a friend and did some really interesting perfume sniffing. I'll tell you a little bit about that. I've discovered a new house. I have a new discovery set that I'm kind of working my way through. I'll just share with you some first impressions, like my overall first impressions of this house, kind of as a whole. And then, yeah, let's just jump right into what I have. And I've also been considering like letting go, of some fragrances, not because I like really don't like them. It's mostly that I think that I don't want to grow a big collection. I'm having really mixed feelings about like building a collection. I don't want a collection of several hundred bottles. I can feel it chokes me out to feel like when I take in 100 ml bottle, like the size of this, this is True Lust, by the way, that I'm going to tell you a little bit about in a minute. Then I can kind of feel, I feel kind of like closed in. I feel like there's something not right about collecting bottles of this size. Santal Complet is another example. I paid a lot for this. It was secondhand. It was like 2/3 full. I haven't worn it that much. The longevity is really bad. At least on my skin, it doesn't, I like the fragrance, but even the fragrance is like, I don't know. Someone yesterday on our Facebook group was looking for, buying secondhand bottles from this house, and he said he would pay well. So I offered him this for a certain price because I just don't wear it. And I think that my collection should consist of perfumes that I actually wear. So, and another one that I'm thinking about that I could consider dropping if someone, is looking for it is New Look 1947. I really love this fragrance so much, but the longevity is really poor, and I end up like not putting this on for that reason. I would have to keep it in my bag and keep applying throughout the day. It just isn't worth it to me. My consumption of perfume is about like 1 milliliter per day, I've realized, because I change my fragrance maybe like 3, sometimes 4 times a day. And I know about how much I use. If I think of like a standard sample size is 2 milliliter, I use about half one of those per day, because it does, which sounds like maybe not so much. I mean, it'll take forever to like get through. If I would be to like start using my collection and like work my way through it, I probably would have enough until I die. It's like, that's how much perfume I have. I haven't actually made that calculation, but I know even if I'm kind of a big perfume user, I spray a lot, it's still not more than 1 milliliter per day. So that gives you kind of an idea about all these 100 ml bottles, that it doesn't feel that great to own this much perfume. And I only own like 50 bottles. I'm sure that several of you listening might have gone beyond that point. And yesterday I kind of stumbled across this person named Hayley Hewitt. I don't know if you guys follow her. She has, I guess, taken a break for 5 months because she kind of had to like stop herself from buying perfume. And I guess she's now completely out of it. And she doesn't want to buy like any more perfume. And she talks about this in her most recent video. You can check it out if you want. But I think she calls it like the dark side of perfumery or something, or the dark side of perfume collecting. I've never seen myself really as a collector. I'm on a perfume journey. I'm enjoying perfume, but I think the fact of the matter is that perfumes do start kind of accumulating, and I do have a collection. Let's just face it, I do. So, but I'm really going to think twice before adding like 100 ml bottle to my collection. I'm a little more liberal when it comes to adding travel size bottles or getting discovery sets. And I did yesterday, this video doesn't have much structure, sorry for that. Yesterday I went to our local perfume shop, it's called Cow. I think they might deliver, they have a web shop too, they might deliver to other countries, I'm not sure, because I think you can like get the whole thing in English if you want. This is like a new brand from 2022 from Korea, South Korea. It's called Borntostandout. And their bottles are all white with red lettering. I think like the perfume house is in black, and the different names are in red, and they're kind of like provocative names, like they're called fig porn, sex and cognac, these kind of names. And I bought this discovery set actually, and you can see kind of the names there. Hinoki shower, not safe for work, NSFW. Indecent cherry. They're all kind of like referring a little bit to like sex or drinking alcohol. And this particular discovery set is called Dirty and Sticky. And then they have another one with the other 8 that is called Drunk something. And I think those are a little bit more like, I think one perfume is called like Drunk Lovers, which I thought was a really juvenile scent. But these fragrances I find to be, in general, this is a first impression because I did try them all yesterday at the shop, are easy wears, which I would have guessed by these names. This little card comes with the set, and they're all created by like really kind of famous perfumers from Firmenich, I think it's called, this perfume company, like Natalie Lorson, Oliver Cresp, these kind of perfumers. I don't know them all. Florian Gallo I don't know of, for example. But they, you would think maybe that they'd be kind of like far out and for maybe the one who's looking for something weird or something like that. But on the contrary, I think these are like really easy wears. I think these would make like a nice gift for somebody. Today I'm wearing Dirty Rice. And I find that rice is like, it's really not dirty at all. And it doesn't smell. What I like about it is it doesn't smell so much of rice, because I think that, like, for example, Santal Basmati from Affinisance smells way too much like rice. It's like it smells exactly like rice with some sandalwood in there. And that just goes too far. It goes too much in the food direction. This is more, it has a hint of rice, but it's really like a creamy, milky sandalwood. Maybe some florals in there too. It's really, really pretty. A little bit kind of not super strong and like projecting. It reminds me a little bit like Lost Alice and Santal Austral. I don't know. I like this better than Santal Austral. Lost Alice is a little bit maybe more gourmand leaning, and it's a black tea kind of milky sandalwood fragrance. This is a little more, this is lighter and more of an easy wear. I also tried the fragrance Mud, which is kind of like, it refers to kind of like a chocolate mud cake. It's chocolatey, but not too gourmandy. So I just found these fragrances really interesting. And I was happy to see that most of the ones that I liked the best were in this particular sample set. And here came a real challenge for me yesterday. When I was in the shop, I mean, I know this couple that runs this shop. They're super friendly. And they invited me a while back to an event where they were showing, they were sort of displaying D'Orsay fragrances, the new line. And everyone who came to this event was given a little goodie bag with a sample set. I think there were like 5 samples in there or something. I don't know how many samples, but they ran out and I never got one. And that was before I made up my mind not to accept sample sets. So if I had been there, I would have taken it home with me. And they said that they would get back to me. And they did actually call me and say that we're going to let you pick out a 50 ml bottle from the line instead, since you didn't get one. But I declined because I said I don't accept free stuff. And then yesterday when I wanted to buy this, they offered it to me for free. For one little second, I was so tempted to like, okay, but it's samples, I should accept this for free, since I was at this event and I should have gotten, I mean, there were lots of people that were not even influencers there, or, didn't have a perfume channel or anything. They were just like interested in perfume. But then I thought, no, this isn't right. I'll feel choked. I'll feel obliged to say good things about this house. And what if I don't like it? Because like, the house that I recently reviewed called Mint, it's like a few videos back, they made a really good first impression. The first time I tried them, I was like, oh, wow, interesting. And then when I gave them a full wear, I ended up like not liking them in general. There was one or two that I liked, but basically not. And if this happens to if this happens to my opinion, kind of like with trying these, I don't want to feel like I have to say certain things. So I felt actually really good about paying the $60 for this, which is not too bad to be able to try through half a house, I think. And then maybe hopefully someone will have gotten the other half and we can swap, maybe. I don't know. But it was a little bit hard, I was going to get it for free. And I just, had to pay for it. But now I feel free. I feel liberated. I feel free. This is something that I have promised you guys and promised myself, because I know it's a hard time. I have a hard time staying on track and not feeling like I want to please somebody, because I do want to please them, because I really like this couple. I don't care for the brand. Like, I don't care like I have to say good things about this brand. I mean, they're on the other side of the world. I don't know them personally. But this couple that has this, they've taken in some pretty amazing houses lately. They have a great selection. And I'll have to say, our city, our capital, Stockholm, we're kind of small. I mean, in a kind of niche perfume perspective, it's not a big city, but we have a great selection of niche perfumes, I'll have to say. I mean, we get upset like they don't have the new, they don't have guidance from Amouage. We can't get that. But I mean, if you look at what we have, I think that like if we could go to Oslo, I don't think they would have half of what we have. And there's no other city in Sweden. Well, there is actually Malmö, the third biggest city. They have a really good perfume house there called Gents. They also have a website. I'm not sure to what countries they deliver, but they've got a good selection as well. So, I mean, we have a lot here. We really do. And they keep taking in more things. So I should be really grateful, because I have enough to work my way through. Okay, I'll just tell you a little bit about what I've been wearing lately, what I've been doing. I've kind of had a craving for a little bit heavier fragrances, even though the weather has started to warm up. And I find that they're satisfying in a different way. I found myself reaching for this Ambrette Noir by Aerin, which is like a musky vanilla fragrance. I haven't worn this I haven't worn it all winter basically, and now I found like I really enjoyed it the other day when I wore it in like daytime. I'm surprised myself that I have pulled for this. And then I have, this is made by Oliver Cresp as well, by the way, as the same as the Dirty Rice. Was I right about that? Let me see. Yeah, Oliver Cresp also created Dirty Rice that I'm wearing right now. So good. It's really, really good, this Dirty Rice. Not dirty at all. So the names might be a little bit misleading. They're fun, but they're not as far out as they think they are. And I've also, I've worn Material from Amouage. I've worn Guidance again, which I still really, really like. But I don't think it's worth the money. I will not pay full retail for this, like $350 plus for 100 mil. And it's 100 mil. And when it comes to 100 mil, I have to be like super, super careful. I can get a decant from someone. I know someone in my community that has a bottle, so it's not like impossible to get a hold of, which some fragrances actually are. Like I cannot get a hold of another decant of Cacao Porcelana. I have only this little amount left. I love this fragrance so much. And I have been spending some time trying to layer different fragrances to get this effect, and completely failed at it. I tried to, for example, layer Erotikon from Pigmentarium, which is kind of a chocolate ginger oud kind of fragrance, with Arbolé from Hiram Green, which is a patchouli tonka fragrance. And I thought maybe together they would create some kind of resemblance. I tried to combine Dhjenné at 22 from Pierre Guillaume. This has cacao. It has wheat. I was going to say it has rice, but no, it has wheat. It's a really nice, fresh, kind of minty fragrance with cacao. And this Cacao Porcelana, it has cacao and patchouli, but it's also a little bit dusty, and it's not so heavy. It's kind of light. The wearing experience is like light. For example, if I would try to combine patchouli from Perfume Aroma or psychedelic, I could not get this effect. It would have to be a patchouli that, like I thought with Arbolé, I could just put like a little bit on, and then I would put maybe a little bit more on of the like cacao-based fragrance. But I cannot get this, at least not so far. I haven't completely given up, but I might need a bottle of Cacao Porcelana because there are not like people decanting this, at least not in my community. It's a very small house. People don't talk about it that much. There are a few other fragrances from the house that are available at this shop called Sniff, Sniph. If you're in the UK, you can also buy from them these 8 milliliter bottles. They have a subscription service as well, but they don't have this particular one, unfortunately. Another fragrance that I've really enjoyed in the heat. I mean, we haven't had any heat, but it's been like, you know, between 16 and 22 degrees maybe. Kind of like a typical Swedish spring, early summer kind of weather. I've been doing yard work. No, this is when I went to the dump the other day, and I just kind of wanted something to accompany me, something to kind of keep up my spirits. And I pulled for this. It's called Flavor of Love. I've spoken, I think about this before. It's from, it's made by this Swedish perfumer called Linda. Her name is Linda Landenberg, and the house is called Savour with the British spelling, O-U. Yeah, it's called Flavor of Love. This is a really nice iris fragrance with some spices. It has like coriander. It has some warm spices under there, and it does so well in the heat. I enjoyed it so much. I was working at the dump, you know, with all these men, and I had all this heavy stuff with me, and I was working in the, you know, sweating, and this was just like radiating around me like a companion. I really, really have enjoyed this. And what I like about this brand too is that she 20 euros out of every sold bottle goes to the Rainbow Fund that like supports gay rights and, you know, the rights of people that are transgender across the globe. And that's a big chunk. It's not like 10, it's not like just a, you know, like a little something like at €1. It's 20 euro out of every bottle. And also it's quite inexpensive. This one is like 20, it's cheaper than her other fragrances in this line. Considerably cheaper. It's like let's see, 7.95 Swedish crowns. That's like, yeah, like $80 instead of 100. So that makes quite a difference too. Great iris fragrance. I've also been wearing some other Amouages. I wore Enclave the other day doing gardening. I really, really enjoyed it. It does lean a little masculine, but I like that those warm spices with the mint on top and that woodiness. Really, really nice. Okay, here's a fragrance that I did not like. I have worn it before. I did a comparison. It's Tuberosa from Nichane. I compared it to Carnal Flower, and I thought, kind of comparing them side by side, that they were sort of similar, but I didn't like it. I didn't like to wear this. It reminds me of Beige from Chanel. It's like soapy and sort of beautiful, but also something annoying, like it's too strong or it's too, God, I don't know. It has that watery smell, like when you go into a plant shop, like that sells fresh cut flowers, and the smell is like overwhelming. That they're like lilies and like, it's just too much. It's too much. I will not wear this again. I'm gonna like pass that on to somebody. Since I have Carnal Flower, and that has a little bit of a softness to it. Oh, yesterday I also tried Moon Bloom from Hiram Green, which I found so beautiful. I haven't given it a full wearing though. I would have to go in there like with no fragrance on, go into the shop, you know, takes 4 squirts and then like walk around for 3 hours. That's what I would have to do to really get to really know. But I'm really warming up to Hiram Green. Hiram Green are the bottles that look like this. I also tried their vetiver yesterday because I kind of like, I'm slowly getting a little interested in vetiver. And that is a deep vetiver that projects it. I mean, the projection was incredible. But this tuberose, or it's not just tuberose. This has like all kinds of other florals. It's just, I don't know. I ended up getting rid of Beige. And this one is just not doing it for me. Not going to wear that again. Then I got this little decant from my neighbor. He actually bought a bottle of Manic Love from Neotantric Fragrances, which was a Swedish perfume house that went out of business a few years ago. But they have great fragrances. If you ever, I mean, they're on Fragrantica. You can probably see these bottles kind of circulating. It's a beautiful, this is the one for men. There's one for women, one for men, and I don't think they're very similar. This reminds of the Dior Homme line, Dior Homme Intense. It's Oh, I've been wearing this in the sun. It's really, really good. I really love this. I might, I have a friend that also has this, so I can get more if I want. I try not to talk on this channel too much about perfumes that are unavailable to you guys, because I find that bothers me. Like I do watch Ramsey a lot, and he talks a lot about fragrances that are completely unavailable, but I enjoy him kind of dissecting them and like taking out note by note and comparing them with like the way this was created in this decade compared to this day. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it. But I do wish that I could actually get my nose on some of the things that he's describing on his channel, because it does make a difference to know that you can get something. I would love to dive into the older stuff, and I do have someone on this channel, Julia, who is going to send me some old stuff, some chypres that are not on the market anymore. I'm so grateful. I'm really looking forward to getting this package. So that'll be great. That'll be great. But on this channel, I'm not going to talk so much about those things. The reason I got this True Lust out to begin with, I just wanted to say that this one also has a note of rice. But it's kind of in the back, lurking in the background. This is a really interesting fragrance that I've been picking up a little more lately. It's described as a leather fragrance, but the leather is really, really toned down. It has some florals, it has coconut milk, it has a little bit of booziness from rum, and it has that little creamy, powdery aspect from rice, because I think that rice is kind of like powdery. I don't know if maybe it's rice powder they use in perfumery, I'm not really sure. But you can definitely get that here in the perfect dose. And I think that rice is maybe a little bit the new trend. I don't know if you find this too, but like, Deep Teak has a new fragrance called Le Papier that smells very much like rice. And there's that Santal Basmati. I don't know when that came out, but there were a few rice fragrances, and the perfume guy quite recently put together a video with 8 rice fragrances. And this is kind of an unusual note. And today I'm wearing the Dirty Rice. I just find that kind of interesting. It's kind of a foodie, something we associate with food, and now it's like getting popular in perfumery. I'd like to tell you also about one purchase that I made. Here I'm going to give you a tip. I don't think I've told you this on my channel, but I bought a bottle. This is my decant of Absolute Aphrodisiac from Initio Perfumes. It's a chocolatey, musky, slightly animalic, beautiful, sexy fragrance. One of the few perfumes in my collection that I consider sexy. I don't use that word a whole lot. It's really, really well rounded. But I was going to tell you that I bought it secondhand. I saw it in a Facebook group, and I thought the price. I did a quick check online. What was the cheapest price right now to buy it at full retail price? Actually, it was not full retail price, but I could get it at a little bit cheaper than like in the department store that carries this line. And I thought, okay, well, this is an okay price. There was like, so and so many percent left in the bottle, and I know the seller. I trust her completely. And I said, I'll buy it. It's on its way to me now, but I haven't gotten it yet. But I did I'm sure that wherever you are in the world, you have similar services. In Sweden, we have this like price comparison site called Price Runner, where you can compare prices from all different websites and web shops. And it's supposed to or I thought at least, that it's supposed to give you the lowest price for a particular product. But it does not. So it seems like they only list the ones that are sort of like members at Price Runner. This really pisses me off, because later on that night, or just like even it was like an hour or two later, I found out that they were having a super sale campaign on this particular fragrance and a bunch of other ones as well. It was marked down 44%. I mean, how often do you see Initio fragrances 44% off full retail? Like never. And then I realized I was paying for the amount left. I was paying the new price. I could have gotten a new bottle instead. So I felt like, the seller probably was not even aware of this, and it was like a 1-day sale. This, I think it was perfumedreams.se. It's a Swedish. I mean, they might sell to other countries. I don't know. Maybe they have like one website for each country with like, you know, .no, .uk, whatever. Just so disappointing. I felt like I paid way too much for this secondhand. And I just want you to be aware of that if you have like price comparison sites that say that they write like this, that we make it possible for you to compare prices between so and so many blah blah blah, but they're not telling you that here you can find the lowest price, right? So there could be suppliers like all over Europe that might have campaigns right now, or you could get it cheaper. So you need to know where to look. You need to look. You could look there. That could be like a start. And then you need to look for yourself. Can I get it cheaper anywhere? Because that, I think, is kind of like the starting point of a negotiation, like buying something secondhand. I usually like to pay 60, a really good secondhand price is like 60% of the original price. And you can't always get that. This is a popular fragrance. I don't see this like on sale secondhand very often. It's really popular. So, I mean, I would be willing definitely to pay more. I'd pay 75%, say. But now I don't want to pay 100%. Even if the bottle is, I mean, you can't get a hold of a bottle that's 67% full. No, it was 74% full. And I don't need a 100 ml bottle. So I should look at it this way. I'm happy to sort of help her declutter her collection because for some reason she can't wear this anymore. It brings her bad memories or something like that. And I love it. And the fragrances are circulating. I should be happy with that. But still, I could have just hit myself, you know, for not checking a few more sites. And they were having this incredible sale, and I'm really glad that I didn't, you know, go berserk and buy some fragrances. But they had, yeah, it was an incredible sale. Okay, one last thing. I've also tried. One of you guys that follows my channel has said that I really, really need to give the Cartier Ouds another chance because I wasn't that impressed, especially if you relate it to the price point of these fragrances. The Cartier fragrances, I have a few samples. I love these samples. I think they're so incredibly beautiful. But I have tried these because I know that Ouds, you know, come from the Middle East. The Middle East, you know, their typical climate is that it's very hot. So, you know, maybe these fragrances just perform better in hot weather. And I think that is the case because I wore this the other day when it was sunny and it was warm. And I enjoyed it so much. This is the Oud Ambre. And I have also Oud Santal and Oud Menthe, you know, mint. So I'm going to be trying these as well now in the summertime. And I'll have to say, super, super wonderful experience. And then after I had been, this was in the morning, and then I went to the gym and I worked out and I had a shower. And after I came out of the shower, I did add some Tolu from Ormonde just to kind of brighten it up a little bit because I do find this very bassy. This like all the notes are kind of like down here, but there's not much going on up here. But yeah, that is really, really good. I've been trying some. Okay, I'll get back to you on these things. I'm gonna definitely make like a whole video where I'll tell you more about the Borntostandout fragrances. And I'm going to tell you about some other things that I've been sampling. I've been sent some samples because I did some swapping. I got rid of Libre. I just realized I never wear anything that sweet, or not that particular style anyway. Floral Suite I think is different, but that really cakey, syrupy sweetness, it's just not. I was just never reaching for it, and I found it to be something a little bit synthetic about it. Maybe I'm not sure. I think that's sugar. Sugar is just not. I don't like things to be too sweet. They can be semi-gourmand, but I don't like the full-on gourmand that much. I think the reason I like Absolute Aphrodisiac is that it has a muskiness. It has those animalic notes. It has leather, actually. Maybe that's what kind of like brings the sweetness down. I don't find it leathery, though. It doesn't, to me, it's not. I could never have picked out the notes that are listed for this. It's just really wonderful. To me, it reminds a little bit of a Musk Ravageur from Frederic Malle. And that I wear a lot, by the way. I should get a bottle of that. I mean, I have a mini, and I might as well just go through that before I buy a full bottle. But yeah, I shouldn't buy full bottles, period. Why should I? You know, I have so many minis, they last forever. But this is Yeah, it reminds me of Musk Ravageur. There's a lot of overlap to my nose, but that one goes kind of in a more resinous direction, like an ambery direction, and this one goes more in the, it's a little bit sweeter. It has a little bit of a gourmand touch, which the Musk Ravageur doesn't have as much, but it does also have slightly gourmand touches, like some little bit sweetness going on there. Yeah, love that. Anyway, sorry for this kind of unstructured video. I just wanted to kind of let you know what was going on. I'll be super busy coming up here. I have a job interview tomorrow. Kind of someone I just kind of ran into, kind of put me together with somebody. It's a job. I need to look into what actually the job is about. It's a consultant kind of job. I've had that kind of work before. But I've been so busy getting the house ready, and I've also quite recently made a decision to move from this house. The costs are just too high. So all this work that I'm putting in now for the graduation party, because we'll have like an open house on the 9th of June, will also be good in terms of like getting the house ready for selling it. I have to get rid of a bunch of things there were just things, junk laying around in the yard. It looked really, really bad. This has been hard to keep up for me all by myself. For those of you who don't know, I became a widow it's almost 7 years ago, and I just can't really keep up the work of the house by myself. And to be honest, the two of us together really didn't do such a great job. My husband wasn't super handy. At least there were two of us. Sometimes neighbors will help me with some things, but like just right now in my life, like one of the lights over the stove doesn't work. There's a list kind of like in the living room that is loose. A chair that's broken. The paint on the fence in the back is coming off. I just painted all that myself last summer, and the paint's now coming off. I have to redo that. There's just so many. The list is so long. Like I'll never finish it, never. And I'm not really that type of person. On the other hand, I'm not, a sit in front of a screen kind of person. So I'm kind of trying to figure out what kind of person am I, I would love to have a job where I could move around, because I love to move around. I love to be in shape and move my body. And I love to sniff perfume, and I love to be creative, and I love to I'm kind of like, maybe I'm spreading myself too thin. I'm doing so many things. I'm kind of trying to improve my piano playing. I'm learning French 5 minutes a day. I'm doing like so many things, but just very little. So I'm not really acing it in anything. Anyway, spending really a lot of time on my perfumes. Anyway, I'm going to round this off now. Bye for now.